Welcome back to the V4 Future Sports Festival 2021 play-in. We've had our first best of one out the way, and an upset came on through. We saw Sinners ending up losing out, and Kasai become a very happy man for sure.
I'm always a happy man. But this is just like a cherry on top of the cake. You know?
There we go.
Serbians winning on the LAN. You can't beat Serbians on LAN, except if you're Navi in a major final. But
good time for me.
It's a good showing from Onyx. It's a good win for them. I think it's going to be really good for the confidence coming into tomorrow in the winners match. Maybe they can make another upset and go into the main stage.
Let's see how they can get on. And now Draulom, the local Hungarian man, is here, ready to rock and roll. Good to be back.
Yeah, it is. You know, I think it's been a very, very strange few years for esports, CS in general, but we had a great major, I think, all things considered, and we're finally heading back a bit to normalcy, which is great. You know, it's great to be back. LANs, players, true emotions showing through again. So I think that's like the most attractive part of Counter-Strike, and we finally have it back.
And the crowd, we had the crowd, that was insane.
Yeah.
That was a big part of it.
That was solid stuff for sure. Now, going on to our next game, right, we're looking at Ego taking on eSuba here. Now, we kind of alluded to it before we came into this game that Ego should be pretty favoured in this one. Is it more favoured than what we expected for the first one? Could we expect another upset coming in?
I feel like it's pretty much the same, right? I mean, Ego is a team that's like, I swear to God, they're the team that's like 3 months good, 3 months bad. 3 months good, 3 months bad. Luckily for them, they're like in the period right now, and they're 3 months good. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Some decent results lately, beating Double Pony, Sinners, Anonymous, teams like that, and they're like on a good streak of like good results. They qualify for this event through that Polish National Esports Cup, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they're looking good in the last previous like month and a half.
Also made ESA Pro League, I believe. Like
it's even better than
winning Premier, gave them a spot in the Pro League.
Looking very good, very good. On the other hand, it's eSuba. I don't really know much about them except that our team, our ex-team, I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
Well, we played them in one of the Pinnacle Cups or Republic League or something like that. I don't know. And they put up a good fight against. They almost beat us, you know, and they showed some good promising like things in that game. I don't know how they're gonna handle LAN, you know, and it's a best of one. Being underdog, it's the same thing again. But I would give this game 100% on AGO.
Okay.
Yeah, you see, eSuba is like one of those organizations, like they're like a true OG organization in this region, I guess. Like kind of like if you remember like Copenhagen Wolves back in the day, with a Danish organization, where almost every single like notable Danish player played for them. Similar with eSuba, right? Almost every Czech or Slovakian player you know who comes to mind, they've guaranteed like at least played at one point on this organization. So now they're back, you know, it's a fresh crop of talent. Nothing to really, you know, write home about just yet. So I think their biggest like achievements so far was like taking a map off Extremum, right? Or maybe a bit more.
I think this is the biggest achievement so far with this lineup, right?
Getting here
for a LAN event like this.
Yeah, of course.
We can say that. The thing against Extremum was kind of a lucky coincidence.
Oh,
yeah, we won't talk about it. We won't talk about it here. It's okay.
For forbidden subject.
Well, let's bring on our first team, and it is eSuba who have made their way here. So let's see how they take to the stage. twist is it? We'll be finding out on eSuba when it gets into the game. We're just having that conversation because there's many twists that exist in Counter-Strike. But for me, when I look at this eSuba roster, there's not really a player I'm looking at where I'm going, wow, okay, this is someone to be super excited about right now. Do we have some confidence in individual players here?
I would pinpoint maybe one player specifically. So you have Blogis, 22 years old, he's the upper of the team. I guess he's been the best performing. Obviously as an upper, there's a bit of like stats padding in effect. So
yeah.
It might have like a bit of an overrating effect, but we'll come to see, how well he actually does perform against this type of opposition. I guess he's the player to watch. If you're a team like eSuba, you're up against like a bigger team, AGO, you might want to play around your upper who can find those opening picks, can open up the round for you. And since your upper, he's the best performing player on the team, that's pretty much a good indication that, okay, he is the key into the round, if you want to beat a team like AGO.
Yeah, most of the best players in the most top tier teams are the openers, Zyvo, Simple, Device.
Right.
Not gonna mention G2, but yeah, I think it's Jame and stuff like that. The openers are definitely like the one of the key figures in the team. Like they can do so much damage if they're like mobile and they're like aggressive. It doesn't really depend that much on the style, I guess. But as long as they're like versatile in terms of like rotations and like openings and everything like that, it can be really dangerous, especially in the games. With a high pressure, that's a best of one,
Yep.
Well, let's bring on our next team, the Polish side that certainly are flying the flag, but can they deliver the victory that they're supposed to have here? Let's bring on AGO. That is AGO getting themselves ready to go into that opening match. And like we already said, it is a best of one for this. And when it comes to this, yes, upsets can happen like we saw in the first game. But realistically, when I was looking down the stats, I'm looking at the player names. There's notable players within this roster. There's ones we've seen that have had chance of being successful within the Polish scene. Now this should be the one where I see a dominant scoreline, surely.
Yeah, I mean the difference is, I guess, compared to the Onyx game before, that like on Onyx you have some players who have that wide breadth of experience, Bondik, Impulse. These guys, they have been around for a long while and they know how to play these situations. And while in eSuba, you don't really have the same form of experience or anything similar, So I think AGO should have this pretty handily.
What Drown wanted to say is like no upset happened today yet. Everything.
Let's re-roll it.
Everything according to plan right now. It's gonna keep that way. I think AGO has the massive advantage, just LAN experience, player experience in any kind of aspect that you want to look at. The only thing that's going for eSuba is the fact that it's a best of one. Maybe they have some sort of game plan prepared, some sort of surprise for them, and that can be the X factor for them in this game, and that's the only thing they can kind of hope for. Somebody popping off like an AWP, and then. But I don't think it's gonna happen. I think AGO got this one in the bag, and it should be relatively comfortable.
And the Polish scene in general, though, right? It's had since the successful Virtus Pro days a lot of like downsides and where the success can be found, right? They've been waiting for a team to rise up. Is AGO close to being on that potential of going up? Like you mentioned the ESL Pro League side of things?
Definitely. So AGO, I guess the main takeaway so far is that they've got here by winning that Polish LAN, right? And they took down Honoris, the Neo and Taz lineup, and they also take down Wisla Krakow, which is another team here, right? So from that sense, they beat all the local opposition. So they are going into this like, we did it once, we can do it again.
Yeah.
And in the grand scheme of things, well, I guess the prospects on this team. So you talk about MHL, who's like an incredible player, you know, he's definitely the one to watch going into this. You also have the new arrival, Krasno, and these two can, you know, build themselves up to be players which can take the Polish scene a bit further.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the MHL thing, but also individually, team-wise, AGO is the best team in Poland, right?
Yeah.
And like on the global scale, they don't have literally outside of them anybody who can do any damage, right?
Yeah.
Individually, they have a couple of players. You know, Michu was there in EG, and then Hades or Hades is there in Ends, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know how you consider Mantu.
Okay.
British.
Or
Yeah, I'll take him, you know, I will happily take any good British players we can have, because
so
we
is
do
he the
need
best
them.
off or Smuja? Who is the best over there?
Mantu.
Okay,
Right now,
okay.
let's move like rise up a little bit for that.
Take that on before the finals. Take that. Anyway, individually they have some couple of players, you know, that were like on a solid level, nothing like Golden 5 before. Yeah. But this AGO team looks good so far. Let's see how they do.
Well, we've got Nuke as the map. We're going to have to see how it all goes down. But we best get back with our commentators. It's the Eternal Jay and Dweg.
Cheers, guys. Yes, we've already seen one upset so far today, and I wonder whether we'll see a second one. Dweg, if eSuba want to get that rematch against Onyx, and they'll certainly have to take on one of the toughest oppositions in this group. And I do agree with what they're generally saying. Again, OEGO are probably the favourites in this matchup, but I honestly don't mind this map of Nuke too much here.
I was just going to say the same thing.
Like, talk to me more about this one, because we have seen some impressive results from eSuba lately.
Yeah, in BO3s, they actually pick a lot of Vertigo, and their second one is Nuke. So this, in terms of a veto in a BO1, actually looks pretty decent for the eSuba side. The problem is, is a lot of the nukes that we're actually seeing from them is against local competition. So how do you compare the pair when we're talking about a top Polish team of AGO?
100%. Like, that's a really, really big thing to account for. But at the same time, it's the best of one. And we have seen already how non-comparisons in the terms of the Sinners have already fallen at this event so far. So maybe there is something ahead of them over on the eSuba side. Knife round of the side choice of sides. I imagine CT is going to be the preferable pick, as it's pretty standard for this one. Both sides have a pretty great CT basis overall. So I'm kind of looking at that as being the major sort of thing for them to start things off. And I feel like if eSuba want to get this match together, then a CT start is probably going to be the best thing that they can have to their favour.
Hey, you got to remember too, for AGO, Nuke was actually one of the maps that got them into the position to win Premier and go all the way into Pro League for the next season. And they beat Anonymo there 16-6. We saw them only very recently up against Sinners in their first game this season in Premier, 16-10 on Nuke. So even though the veto looks somewhat decent for eSuba, it's still a good map for AGO. One player I'm really looking out for is Krasnal. This is LAN debut. This AGO side, I will say, looks very different from the AGO side that we saw last year.
Yeah, and I mean, in general, in the last handful of months, they made a lot of big changes. You know, they lost Snatchy and Ralden, which I thought was going to cripple this side. I thought that they were going to lose quite a lot, especially against Snatchy as well. Think about how great of a player that he is. They just crack one out. They didn't try and re-up. I'm not sure whether that was because he didn't want to, or what the intricacies of that particular deal were. But losing a player like him, that's a big, big stalwart and a big, big player to lose for a team like AGO.
Completely disagree. I think it is, but look at who they've got. They've got MHL. I was having a chat with him on the media day yesterday, and I was like, great to see you back, because in 2020, he was, I think HLTV put him as a player to watch and made a couple of articles about him. He was an unbelievable player. He took time away to focus on school. Now he's back. This guy is an absolute star.
Well, at the same time, you also see how he was sort of riding the bench for AGO for the longest time ever as well. So I'm not sure whether or not, maybe he is a great player as an individual. Maybe the ratings and the numbers do indicate some greatness from him. But the question for me is, how is that going to fit in with AGO style? Do they trust him to be that kind of guy, or do they have the necessary system in terms of the team itself? Will MHL be able to fit in that same sort of a way? And the other guys to also watch out for, obviously, you mentioned how Krasnal's going to be brought into the table. They won't be playing with their 6th man of Crosslog, so we'll have to entertain that discussion. So just jump in and see how well it will go. AGO on the CT start of things. eSuba getting straight into the pistol round, diving all players down the vents, looking for that bomb plant very, very quickly. Blog is already outside, but it's Krasnal in with his 2 kills. Back out towards that ramp position. MHL will focus fire on several players. The bomb is on the site. It's not on a player, though. It could not get planted at this stage. And Twist is looking for a very cheeky way in. He's getting tagged up and now being heard. Twist will get tagged at 33 as the bomb will get planted at last.
Oh, they need someone to step up, someone to fight a frag. The lurk outside, one of the players down at lower. Krasnal even with a 3rd. MHL getting into the mix, and even though eSuba have got the bomb, that might be all they're happy about.
Yeah, Blog is well far away to deny this defuse here. 10 seconds to it. They have plenty of time, and they know that he's probably somewhere upstairs, still lurking up to the outside area, so he can just sit in the event position, hope that that someone overextends, but you won't deny this bomb defuse. It will be a pistol round gained by AGO. Hey, bomb plant bonus at the very least. They could pretty theoretically force the issue back from the eSuba side. But really solid start from them. All 5 players alive, and Krasnal getting the triple. That is a hell of a way to deliver to kick things off.
Yeah, he's a guy that I don't know too much about. A lot of these guys, before joining AGO, hadn't played on many pro teams. He played on the Los Kudos team, which was like a Polish mix before joining AGO. I'm sure when you look in the Polish scene, I'm sure a lot of players are going to know about him. But for everyone else that's not involved in the Polish scene, haven't heard much about him.
Definitely a great debut round to start things off for the two of us at the very least, and definitely for the majority of the world if this is the first time you're seeing him. NHL towards the outside as the scout in, brought down with the rest of the rifles and the auto shotgun. Now we have for Lemon. Fico, however, steps up with the triple, removes 3 players from the outside control. Mac and a twist can get a trade in, but there's Krasnal there to bail out the last of the trades, and Blogis in the 1v3 has grabbed that Galil at least. Gonna try and put some decent effect out here. Fiku up close, detected and dead. Man down. Krasnal struggles to get that second spray, but he gets that second kill regardless. 3 players to fall there for the AGO camp.
Yeah, it's an expensive round. They still get it over with. And for eSuba, just be on a light eco, really, going into the third round. A couple of upgraded pistols here or there. Nice to see a multi-frag coming out for Fiku. And he was a guy once upon a time that was like the 6th player, wasn't he? When we think back to the old lineup when Groovy was still there, it was like Fiku was in one game and then Lemon would swap with him. And now he's been able to have himself a permanent spot on the roster for quite a while.
It's curious as well, seeing how Fiku and Lemon were the 2 players that swapped about, and now they are the permanent members of the team. So
yeah.
There you go, investment in the future. If you play the 6-man roster correctly, then I feel like it could be a very fruitful endeavor, and AGO are one of those teams that I feel like are doing that right now. But back in focus of the game itself, right now it's eSuba the guys that are having the better successes. 2 kills of the Deagles, I should say. Fiku and Krasnal have fallen, so those 2 individuals that have popped off in the first couple of rounds are removed from play. Same thing for Blogis down in the 1 trade, but it's a 2-for-1 that favors eSuba.
They've got Twist down at the lower bomb site, and Luco's just waiting for an overextension, waiting to see if a mistake will get pulled. This is actually a very good position for Twist to be here with the MP9, see if he can catch off a mistake, one of the rotators.
Petchin just watching Deagle out, forcing MHL to fall back towards Hell. At least attempting to do so. Their M4's got a few more balls than that, and will take face, but also take a dink back. 17 points of HP now. An advantage and HP advantage for the T-side line. Furlan's watching back at control room, sees a couple of individuals crossing. There's a lot towards Savannah. Petchin turns that Deagle into the shot. Lemon will try to dive down and join his teammates here in the vents position. Oh, a shotgun against Petchin first. Flashbang forward. Taps up as he jumps around the corner, gets the headshot in, but it's still 3 more players to find. Are low HP at the very least, so there's potential in this round, but they're just not revealing their positions. There's no HEs to try driving them away, just flashbangs in. And time is ticking away.
Yeah, they need kills, need them in quickly. MHL thinking about maybe a spam up toward the top position. Oh, the bullet's getting close to Twist, but not quite enough. They're going to have to give up on this, hold on to this M4A1S, bring it into the next round. I can't believe eSuba don't win the force buy, but win the eco.
Yeah, not the way that things in theory should go, at least. And it is the way that they have gone down here in this particular start. First to the board of the eSuba camp, and again, it'll be the start of things to come if they want to try and get this upset together. The Onyx side, obviously, was a team that eliminated them during the IOC Dwayne, so you can imagine that they're chomping at the bit to try and get a rematch against them in the best of 3.
Yeah, that was a close game, that was. I think map 3 went all the way down into OT, which they weren't able to manage, and that was obviously the qualification game, so that would have been a difficult one. You think about the road in which they were eventually able to get here, a best of 5 on LAN against Enterprise. Even that went all 5 maps.
eSuba for now going to get through AGO and start things off well on the eco basis. Force Spy will come back in for the CT, seeing 2 M4s, 1 for Mars and SMG and a P250. Not amazing. The CT and T players get caught up against each other here at the ramp entrance. It's Twist that gets Krasnal, and Luco will be able to find Lemon elsewhere on the map. It's the dive down towards Secret for Blogis. A 5-on-3 again gained by eSuba.
This is pretty much over. This round just looks too easy for eSuba. They've got a 5-on-3, plenty of time. And even for Blogis, he's just waiting for an overextension. This is a simple kill on the Furlan, and yeah, that's it. Couple of players left. Yes, it's a FAMAS and an M4, but really, there can't be much being found.
No sneak forward plays, nothing really cheeky that could provide a clutch scenario or, in general, shut down the round of a lone sim or a double play. They're separated from each other. One player out of garage, one player back of ramp. You can see that MHL is thinking about a rotation, but honestly, their best bet here is to hold on to the weapons. And Kevlar, like, there's just nothing left in this round. No player has really been tagged significantly. You got Luca down to 96. It's the best they've done so far in this round. So 2-2 to the board, and eSuba, well, it's a solid start for them.
Yeah, AGO would be very pumped to know that they're here at a V4 event, because the last time they tried to get to a V4 event was in the Polish qualifier of the 2018 version, and they went down to the XCOM side that actually went on to the main event. So you have to think they didn't really get a chance in 2019. 2018 they did. This time they went through that Polish National Esports Cup on LAN up against Vizsla and Honorist, not even dropping a map. This time, though, it does seem like eSuba putting up a decent fight in the early portion.
Fika will get a couple of decent kills on the exits, but they're for Masters to get taken down, so again they lose out. And for the MHL just find another good exit. He's hunting for a bit more, with a bit overzealous of my money, but he gets away with it regardless. So, expensive round again for eSuba, but it was a force buy from the CT side, so AGO probably got to eco here.
Yeah, we won't be able to upgrade much around that M4A1S, try and get it in a decent position to try and see if they can put some damage on early on. eSuba, decent opportunity for them to be able to take a lead here and turn 2 into 3 rounds in a row.
Have to watch out for them. The utility and limited amounts being brought down here by the CT side, the PT50s. Of course, the AK is standard, so should be seeing them rip through the most of the AGO camp. If they can save that M4 in for the next round, that'll probably be a decent success, although they can't buy for it regardless. Logis has gone past one man. Fiku is sat back, and he's going to wait in the midst of that smoke to try and catch the lurkers off guard, try and catch this main T-side force. He won't have any idea that Blogis is downstairs. There is a bit of a stack involved towards the downstairs angles, though, so he might just walk into the trap. He might get sandwiched in by the CTs.
In a weird way, Jay, he might be able to get all the way around and actually drop that bomb in from lobby. It comes down to the distraction play out from Secret. They've seen Bloggers. They're going to overextend him with the M4.
Team Fiku still got his mission on lock, and MHL will swing with that M4 to grab the frag, and now Fiku going to keep pressing. Savannah has no idea, but he accounts for the man, so it'll be a 4 versus 4 instead. Great responsive from him. Vetchin will now enter towards the A site. Ferland and Krasnal will end up falling. M4 can get recovered at least by MHL, and they drop some more weapons down towards that vent area, so if Lemon can get there, grab that, and they can probably just call in the save here for the AGO side. Respectable sort of scenario there, and a respectable general sort of setup from the CT basis. If they can get away with these rifles, then it will be a success. It will be a third round for eSuba, however, as they will take the lead.
Yeah, you'll take that. Holding on to the rifle you brought into this round and getting an extra, yeah, it's all right. eSuba, that was actually a pretty decent read from Savannah, because if he didn't quite check, or maybe if he was looking over at a teammate's monitor or just having some comms and gets back down and realizes, hang on a minute, Fiku's right behind me and doesn't know, that round can actually start swinging.
Swing it well. Swing and hit. Brings the board of the eSuba camp. Again, the guns can come back out for AGO. This is going to be their main focus this next round. The loss bonus will stack. We will be able to gain the rifles once again here. So, M4's AWP out for MHL, first appearance for him and this weapon. Utility in general across most of the board, with just double diffusers in for them all. So, generally a pretty decent setup.
Yeah, you'll probably see when money's looking good that we'll see Ferland pick up that secondary AWP, or even Fiku can get involved. At the current moment of time, money's quite tight, so you've only got the opportunity of going in for one. A lot of M4A1Ss to follow, and for eSuba, bringing the bomb and some early contention towards outside. Lemon trying to see if there's an early play in from Squeak Door, see if he can get a span through. A lot of nades going out to that main position.
Smokes suppressed back at the Squeaky Door. Luco watching the secret entrance. Smokes down towards the red box cross to allow him and his teammates to cross. Savannah's been tagged early. The AWP, I believe, was what came out of that leg shot. MHL now to Ferland's, Lemon's position, I should say. Just take that fight, and Savannah will drop him all the same. Krasnal with a dark card. Luca takes a fight. Krasnal lines up several, only gets 2 frags for it. The third player barely staying alive is Fiku in a 1 versus 3. And if Krasnal had got that triple man spray, this would be a lot less of a high pressure scenario for him.
Difficult round, really, for Fiku. Might be able to isolate one fight, but that's pretty much it. Twist is still keeping eyes down on towards that top side. Fiku's got no idea that Pechin's there. And for eSuba, there's a fair bit of pace coming onto this T side. Notice how quickly they cross against to that secret position. As soon as those smokes go down, start combining into that lower bomb side. And for eSuba, it just comes down to them beating AGO on the rotations. Those ramp players just not finding enough.
4-2 to the board, and we're seeing a bit of a common theme today. The underdog team is getting the solid starts. eSuba in a really solid position thus far.
Kill distribution, Jay. Check that out.
4-4-4-4-3.
It's decent.
eSuba currently working as a cohesive unit and definitely working as a team right now. AGO, early doors still for them. Have plenty of time to recover this. This might not be one of those rounds. They have done damage to Savannah with a nade stack towards outside, but it's Bloggis with that first kill onto Fiku, dropping him. SMG's still in play for Lemon and Crastle, but this is a half buy here for the CTs, so can only expect so much out of them for this.
Yeah, if they're able to somehow squeeze a kill, gather a T-side weapon, bring it into the next round, try and keep the economy low, then you'd be happy about something. They've got quite a few players out towards that ramp position. Lemon quite close to waiting for a bit of a hook in towards that main position from some of the outside players. A lot of space being taken by Bloggers and Garage.
Flanking against the player over at Heaven, takes this by, and before Twist can get away with one pick. We're further there with the trade. Petchin respond to him all the same, so Lemon and MHL still trying to fight their way back towards the outside. Bloggers there to cover off one. Lemon does get away with another good pick, so a couple casualties on an AK that can get saved, but that's his focus here. Save the weapon, don't bother with the retake.
Yeah, you wonder if there's going to be a hunt at all. Money's actually in a decent position for the T side that they don't mind risking maybe an extra player of Petchin, get into that hell position. All just comes down to the crosshair placement.
The locker rooms taps up Petchin's head, so at least the accuracy and the general fragging ability from AGO doesn't look to be off form today. It looks to be solid as you would expect from a team like this. Again, finding those openings and playing the strategies to perfection. eSuba have had a slightly better job of doing that thus far. 5-2 now to their board. And again, half by basis, so you can't expect this round to go the way of the AGO side. They will have an AK to bolster up their weapon buy in the next one. You can see the weapons can get afforded, AWPs can get dropped and just generally brought down by MHL and co. And yeah, guns inbound.
Yeah, fun fact as well about AGO, Furlan's played 372 maps on LAN. Everyone else on his team, 76 combined. And that just kind of starts speaking volumes about how this is a new team. We don't have the Snatchy, we don't have the Rallen, we don't have the Groovy. You have a look back at some of the old lineups. We had PHR in there, Tapchan too. AGO over the years have had some quality experienced players. This feels like the new generation.
Yeah, I guess with that new generation, we're looking towards him as the stalwart, as the rock, if you will, to be able to build some sort of a basis around this. And he might be the guy that's called in this tactical pause from experience alone. Maybe there is something else going on in that particular front. But yeah, again, slow starts from the favourites in our best of ones today in AGO. Take a moment to figure things out.
Yeah, good relationship as well, just by at least looking, between Minrox, the coach, and Furlan. They've been a part of AGO for 4 years each together. So when you think about that, when you've got a coach and an in-game leader that has been together for that long, it shows that they've got a very good working relationship with one another.
See whether that relationship will turn to gold right here. Tactical's taken, and now we get into round number 8. Smokes are down, suppression is involved for now. Execution towards the outside with the 2 cross smokes, so a third one actually. It's the main cross, not the red box cross. Flash into Lemon and start peeking in ahead of the main entrance, and over at the lobby control, it's Lemon with the first kill. Petchin there with a trade. Nade stacks in towards the closed vents and towards main. Pika's going to catch a little bit of that. Smokes down. Molotov to drive him even further away. He can't stick around because he's low HP. Now MHL leans up. Up shot. Connects to Luko. Drops that bomb. 4 versus 2 now. And the Crash will make Petchin drop towards one player. It's all Savannah. Back out towards Squeaky. Behind the red boxes. The bomb in full CT control. This should be a third for AGO.
That is such a sick protocol there for AGO. So you can notice straight away that Furlan, or at least Fiku, is taking a fair bit of damage down from that main position, and he gets the information straight away that a couple of players are firing at him. So MHL takes it into his own accord, start aggressing forward, start taking map control away, try and catch them off guard. He's still here posted in ramp aggressively.
Continue facing forward. Great shoulder bait. Shot off. Savannah looks up. Checks the back lines, back turn towards the main entrance though, and there's Fiku with his pick instead. Locks out that third round for the AGO side. And a really nice aggressive play that overall was able to work out towards that lobby. Kind of like a half crunch, not a full crunch.
Yeah.
They came in from both entries at staggered positions, and that threw the entire T side off. So eSuba lose their first round out of 6. WPs can get brought back in, of course. They've got plenty of cash available.
Yeah, be able to see if they can ride it back out. I think when we look at the last BO1 that we just had up on stream, how streak heavy it can be at times might be a factor that continues on throughout the day.
It's out or bin. Krasnal drop Bloggis straight to the head. Domes him on the way out of Squeaky. Things off well enough here for the AGO side once again. Much earlier, they find the man advantage, and they didn't even need to force forward to try and get it. Now they can sit pretty and wait in the bomb sites, wait for the execution to come.
Lemon just on this other side, hearing Petchin spamming through that hut position, even to the outside position. They're going to have to deal with Fiku and MHL. He's just not giving up on this aggression at all.
He's waiting. He might be able to catch a player or two. Great crack angle held. Twist will drop, trying to force out the fight, but didn't even land a bullet. It's 100 HP across the board here for AGO. Smokes on. Fiku has a gap to work with, and he'll exploit that as well. Luca next to drop, face back in, taps up for the double. Will connect onto Savannah. And this round falls apart for eSuba. This is the AGO I expected to see from the start of things, and Fiku even makes it a triple on the outside. Perfect heads gained, and now they're within one.
He's playing with confidence, otherwise you probably wouldn't re-peak with 50 HP. But yeah, they're doing well, getting a multi-kill outside. And now AGO feel like these last couple of rounds in a row have been pretty convincing. They've had a lot of players staying alive, haven't given many opportunities up to the eSuba side, and no bomb plants in those last couple either.
Small tech pause for eSuba, as you can see. So then that resolved very quickly before we can jump back into this. Well, slight momentum break for the AGO side, as they've just recently got themselves on a bit of a roll. But yeah, real solid round from them, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I was a bit worried at first because obviously things were looking a little bit awkward in the early couple of rounds, and obviously for eSuba, this is the prime position to try and take an upset, like we just saw in the previous matchup against Sinners. They can do that, then they can meet Onyx head on.
Not used to it, you know.
I'm a bump in the road before we get there at this stage. We can take a look at the economy state as well. Do you see a force play in this next round?
Probably a hero for one. You look at it and you think Luca will be alright, Savannah can buy himself, Petchin can get an AK forward, but it's Blogus and Twist that really don't have a lot behind them. So looking at where the loss bonus sits, I think maybe a hero AK at most is probably the smarter call and the safer call as well.
Yeah, probably in a similar sort of boat to you, honestly. eSuba had to fall back on the next round. I mean, AGO can still equalize here. eSuba's still got a great basis to work from, and the great groundwork of a T-side. And that's one thing about Nuke we always talk about, is that the better T-side usually ends up winning the map because it is so CT-based. So if they can get away with a half here, if they can get away with a close half, that might just be enough for eSuba. Again, it's a very capable map. They went 16-14 down against Sinners. Yeah. Like, that's a really, really impressive sort of result, honestly. And even though it isn't a win for them, that's still a team that we would consider in the top 30.
Yeah, again, you have a look back at that matchup against Sinners. They played on LAN somewhat recently. It was 16-14, 16-14 as losses. So that was probably quite a tough game for them to realize what happened after. If you dig deeper, Jay, 11 rounds on CT, and they got 14 rounds. So what's that saying? Do they need 11 rounds to win this game? Like, this is the thing that we look at, because, yeah, we can say 16-14 against Sinners. Okay, let's dive deeper. They started CT side, they got 3 T rounds. That's something that we need to think about, is how much of a heavy lead do eSuba really need if they want to turn this into an upset, because the lead right now is only 1.
Well, I mean, they found 5 T rounds, so that's already better than what we've seen against them, and you could argue the Sinners are better than AGO in terms of the in terms of where they are in the rankings. Arguably, it depends really. Like Sinners are at least making cracks at like RMRs and bigger level events. AGO have not really been to that kind of level as of yet. And you're still questioning mark. Like they were saying earlier, how they sort of like go 3 months on, 3 months off in terms of like their general level of form. So again, debatable depending on the way you see things. So for eSuba, it's already comparable results, comparable team. Now a comparable 10th round as we're ready to get back into the action. They're going to go half buy in this round. No hero AK.
Yeah.
The Eagles on 2, Tech9's on 3.
That's all right. Try and stabilize the economy, see if there's still damage can be done. They've got some decent amount of nades to try and work with. A lot of anti-rush nades in for the CT side, and Krasnal expecting a rush out from ramp. Doesn't even want to fight, just fall back.
Straight shot from MHL, straight towards Twist. Second shot on Petchin as well. Expecting Looker to be up close. The Tech9 finally overwhelms him. Krasnal there with one responsive, but Savannah is there for another fast trade. So 3 on 2. Now they have an AUG to work with. Respectable pace coming in from the eSuba side, but as Blogus falls, it leaves it all to Savannah. That rifle is dropped, and the bomb is out in the open. It had been picked up now. Where does Savannah go with this? Back up towards heaven, towards A, down towards the B site. Viku's going to rotate back, so he has some information to play with now.
It all just comes down to slowing the round, seeing if he can isolate a couple of 1v1s. Honestly, taking an AUG outside and trying to fight into Fiku with an AUG, it's not going to be easy.
Watching position, AUG sat and ready for the peak, and the shot connects so perfectly. 5 apiece. The half buy does get dealt with. eSuba, no bomb plant bonus. They do have a buy though. Lost bonus is going to kick in. So you can see the AKs coming out. Probably can't justify the AWP on anybody though.
No, Luco would have been able to buy one with body Kevlar and chuck that over to Blogus if they really wanted to, but it would have meant that he would have been light on nades, and without that head Kevlar up against those M4s, they opt against it. So they do get the AKs out instead. AGO now with 3 in a row, and for eSuba, they would love a bomb plant to try and help out with this loss bonus.
Maintain the lead, ideally. Regain it above AGO, of course, 5 apiece. Smokes down initially into the common positions for the CT forces. Again, Lemon's going to try to force forward here at the hut position. Entrance towards lobby, waiting for Petchin to take face, or for him to try and stand out against the man. It's all a case of timing, and the timing and positioning is slightly better for the T side, just off of the crosshair. Lemon kicks things off for the T's.
Yeah, MHL's got that one-way smoke from Secret to try and work with, but there's been no outside presence at all. Yeah, you've got that lurk behind main outside of Blogus. Other than that, though, you've got some outside smokes coming. It came down to that first contact. Lemon losing the fight. Now pressure's going to rely down onto the AWPer outside.
Smokes at the red box cross. MHL is still out here. Molotov's burning away at his position. He's still going to hold the AWP's angle, but finally a deeper molly lands. He's going to get forced away from Secret as a result. Flashes forward to Furlan, going to try and suppress side of the lobby position. Wait with the incendiaries as well. Further util back, flashes over, incendiary back down as Twist walks out. Fiku grabs his shot, looks at Petchin as well. Double and a triple, even a quadra attempt, doesn't quite work out for him. He runs out of ammo. There's Furlan there with a response though, so it's all Blogus.
Yeah, Fiku's like, come on, Furlan, help me out, brother. What's going on there? So late to the peak, but still, what a hold coming out. MHL even on the rotate down for the vents, coming back up. Fiku, he has been getting quite a few multi-frags in this early stage of Nuke.
Yeah, he's, I think, 14 frags deep so far, so quite a number on his own part here to hold.
Cheeky.
Looking fantastic for it. 6 to the board of AGO. They have gained the lead above eSuba. There looks to be an eco coming in for the T's as well, potentially. A tactical pause actually called before that point. I imagine it will be free Suba. I'm going to get that confirmed in a short few moments' time, but they are the players on the back foot.
Yeah, I can see BenQ having a chat with his players and
The monitor?
No, the actual player. Good one. But no, for him, he played on the Gun Runners and Ecstatus, even had a stint playing with eSuba and moved from a player into a coach role. And I guess you do get that quite frequently, is a player really likes working with an organization as a player. Maybe the times are over. All right, move into a management role or an analyst role or a coach role, and that's the way the BenQ's gone down.
Going on this eSuba side, so what so far been a pretty respectable run thus far. Of course, didn't make it here for the IOC, but have their second chance again at revenge later. eSuba set with their weapons as standard again, just pistols versus the guns. Should be coming in pretty heavily for boys over from AGO. Tech-9s and Eagles again, the upgrade pistols are in play. They can try another fast style of round. They've got Molotovs at the ready as well with a little bit of util, so this could be a set piece to the A side.
Yeah, just have that top hit, try and see if they get the flashes in over the top, get that bomb down straight away. They need to rely on those entries.
Smokes, flashes, all sorts thrown out here. Spray through from Fiku, catching Savannah and Twitch with a little bit of damage being done, but they do not commit off the back of that. Suppression's involved. Eventually, Figu's going to get spammed up and nailed down. Twist will burn in the midst of his Molotov in the interim, so kills coming in simultaneously between those two individuals. Furlan dropping off the rafters, taking a bit of damage. The nade in towards the open vent corner does not catch Savannah. He's very low. Smoke back down. And they're still yet to commit.
Well, they couldn't commit. That was the problem. There was so much counter utility by that CT side that it's not even a double pump because they've got no more util. At least they've got a lurk outside to create some level of space. But really, this whole round is kind of over because they tried something and it just didn't work.
Furlan's AK just watching and looking up the position. Eyes set towards Mini. Backing off to join Lemon with a bit of a lobby aggressive play, just as the T start walking out towards this vent dive. So they've gone ring of roses and evaded all contact. It'll be left to Krasnal to defend the site itself. Sees 2 players, drops 1 and 2, bomb out in the open as well. Hearing the footsteps towards observation window. I think the window is also closed up, so they've got to pop it open. Blogus will catch 1 rotator, 18 seconds remaining on the clock, and Krasnal will start pushing forward to look back towards Decon. The smokes are in. Players cross successfully. MHL landed all peak. Now Blogus turns that AK into 2 frags, but the nade from MHL will trade back all the same. It was running out of time regardless. It'll be 7 rounds to the board of AGO. Expensive round though for eSuba.
I am enjoying the way that Blogus is leading by example. He's the veteran guy on this team. He's the AWPer. He's been there the longest out of anyone. And it feels like he's finding a lot of impact. He's getting some good trading kills. He's finding success with the AWP. Just needs to maybe try and get some more out of some of his teammates.
Respectable sort of scenario again from eSuba. Might still drop the half at this stage, but they've still gained a decent amount of damage done towards the AGO side, so late a few rounds of this half, they could still be on to dish out some amount of damage. Another tech pause being called in by eSuba, so clearly our issues have persisted over time, so we'll get that resolved again, just jump straight back into it. Does give them a bit of time to think, though, because T-side has been okay, but it's that very similar scenario you mentioned earlier. We're having like a good or a decent T basis, but nothing else to back it up.
Yeah. Overall picture for eSuba, it looks poor, right? 5 rounds on T, they need to push it a lot more if they really want to try and keep this close and competitive. Another thing for AGO, we talk about match sharpness. They've only played 3 best of 3s in the last month. Now, when we look at the tier 2 teams in the last 3 months, we typically see, 100, 110 maps. So if you take that into account, you look at it the last month, you're probably looking 30, 40. They've only played 8. So I wonder if that makes them allow more time for preparation coming into an event like this, that you're not just playing absolutely every official. A Fiend last night had to play a game against D13, and they're going to be playing later on.
I mean, it's a bit of both sides for me. Like, there are certain teams where I think that definitely applies. But you take a look at the tier 1 squads, for example, and they don't have anywhere near this kind of map. So I don't think it's necessarily like a big thing. I will say that there are squads that do definitely benefit from that, and they do suffer to match sharpness.
Definitely one.
Entropic, we're going to get to see them a little bit later on this week. So I'm curious to see how match sharpness will affect those guys, considering they got off the back of the major, haven't been doing much. Let's see whether a second LAN attempt will be victorious for them. But that's a story for another day. But out, 7-5 again, we'll get back into the matchup between AGO and eSuba. M4 for Fiku, trying to get towards the outside. Head of that smoke, look ahead of the red box. Doesn't see any of the players, though. There are 3 members out there. A flashbang forward will start to peek. He sees nothing. Continues holding face. They know that he's there, though. They should be recognizing that utility placement, and they will counter for it.
Yeah, AGO playing on the city side, they're not giving any respect. They're always looking to try and put pressure on. They're always looking for opening fights. And even for MHL outside, he's just looking for a trade back.
All important trade back. Oh, shot in. Great flick. Bloggers 3 phases of Sword Twist. Didn't expect the second player to be out there, though. So shot misses out. The AUG of Crastal can't deal with the Krieg. So 2v3. Favorable to eSuba. Luco falling back. Lemons put it out. Next, the aggression. Just a bit reckless and loose. And without utility or backup support, Furlan stands alone in a 1-on-3. Downstairs in the B side, they're not aware of it just yet, but they should start to prod towards A and recognize it's completely open. I
can understand the protocol there for AGO. You lose the first pick outside, you feel as if you've got to get an advantage back, and because they are quite widespread, it's like, right, let's try and make a play. Let's see if we can bring a multi-kill into action. Let's see if we are able to get a man advantage, and instead, it keeps going in the way of eSuba. Furlan, 1v3, very difficult position for him to win. Might as well just be better off holding onto the rifle rather than going in for the clutch.
Yeah, honestly, probably cash is okay for AGO. Might be better to keep the weapon now, but to make sure that they have a much more equal and based economy state. Upgrade to the AK. He's going to go for this, actually. I think footsteps are being heard right now. The nade should give away his position now as they look towards his position at Mini, but eventually he decides to fall back to credit card. Grab the AWP instead, which is an even better option for them. Yeah, 6th round for eSuba. I mentioned they have to push that T side a little bit further. They have just done just that.
It just seemed like for Furlan, he was waiting to see if an opportunity would present itself. If he puts a nade down to the default silos and someone swings, then okay, there's a chance for another pick. AWP out in T-Spore might be able to drop one of these T-side players. So that's more damage being done.
Yeah, 3 players to fall. Economy will be a little bit awkward for eSuba as a result. The money should line up for AGO for this round. Whether it continues into the next round will be a question for round 15 itself. With the loss bonus being where it is, though, with the money in the savings, you can imagine there's probably a force buy on the table for them, though. So ideally win this round to try and maintain a 9-6 half. But eSuba, it could be their chance to steal the half itself.
Yeah, it could be. It all just comes down to round 14 to see if they can follow up and not just make it a single. Krasnal getting some early nades towards that ramp position. Going to spam through, but it does seem as if he's a little bit more cautious in that hold at ramp, never really holding the position for too long. Anytime there's a lot of nades or feels as if he's getting pushed in, just drops down lower.
Smokes on the cross. But not used here by eSuba. They'll leave a player downstairs in MHL on the CT side who will watch that angle, but the focus turns towards Furlan. Seeing those flashes coming in, he's completely blinded off. Crassel's got to get these trades. He doubles up. Can't get the triple. Fiku can, though. Trade on a Luco. 2 players standing for eSuba. That bomb's in the open. Savannah can pick it up. Rotate back to try to join Bloggers, but he's on the other side of the map. Outside, looking on towards the Hell entrance.
Very clever for AGO. Bait and switch. Yeah, Felon's getting a hit. So blinded by that flash. Fiku's able, or at least we see, what, the couple of kills coming through for Krasnal. How quickly Fiku comes in on that rotation from Hell to get the man advantage back in a 3v2.
Bloggers walks out towards Heaven. He's found the flank position. He's checking out the Hell entrance again. AWP spotted. Flick missed out. The AK doesn't get the trade either, but now it's a chance for the CTs to adjust. Bloggers will chime in and get Lemon back. So a 2-on-2. Bomb plant should be secured. Molotovs will keep him at bay. Retake is on.
Oh, they've got to go for this, AGO. 2v2. AWP's already given up the position. Fiku getting a flash out to close Ven. No one really revealing themselves. Finally seeing some information from Savannah.
Bloggers on the backstab. They have no idea. If he holds trigger discipline, he finds both the players. Fiku, MHL, dead and buried. Easy pickings for the triple. And for 7 to the board of eSuba. I think they're going to steal the half right here, Dwayne. This is going to be a very harsh buyback for AGO.
Yeah, I'm with you here. Money's not in a good position, and Bloggers, another great round from him. Even though this protocol and the way that the rotation came in seemed like it was the round breaker, it was actually the play in the post plan, and oh, there we go. They're getting pumped on that one.
That was a good... I like that.
I want more of that.
Well, eSuba, you mentioned earlier how they only got 3T rounds in their maps against Sinners. Much, much better by comparison to that particular series and that particular nuke map. They can get the half again. That might be the T side that they need to win this map outright. And what would that be? 2 upsets in one day.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, right? We're still in a position where scoreline's close. I think we can start entertaining it when we start getting into round 20, 21, 22, when we start getting further on. But so far, it's a decent T-side for sure for eSuba. They would love to be able to get a lead going into the second half. And knowing what we can see with this buy, it's probably most likely.
M4 in on 1 player, that's it. Fast rush out from eSuba. This is what you think. They do catch up Berlin, but Lemon's up on top of the heart. He's got himself a triple. SMG in hand, turns up that M4. Luco can get the trade. Bloggers has also found one in the interim, so it's a 2-on-2 scenario. Scout of MHL has no idea there's a player sneaking in the back line either. He'll get caught off for it. It's Krasnal, SMG in hand, coming out from Squeaky. Takes that fight, wins it. Tries to transfer back to Bloggers, but the range game being played better by the AK. Bombs ahead of that smoke, should get picked up. Krasnal, unknown entity, the AK sneaking ahead of it. He didn't spot him at the edge of that smoke. He's going to walk back towards Squeaky and hide in the corner. Will get smoked off. Bloggers, will he commit towards the A site? He might dive down to the B play, and yes, that's what he does. No, he's trying to fake it.
He's trying to fake that he's dropped lower, and Krasnal, if he goes ramp, then that's going to be the information given up. And Bloggers actually does end up going towards lower, so this rotation from Krasnal is going to be on.
Fake of a fake. Krasnal will drop down. SMG close to position. Bloggers thinks he might have stalled him out. The burst fires, not good enough. So much damage done, but Bloggers maintains his life and maintains the half. 8-7 up for eSuba. And yeah, that's the T side. Pretty nicely done from them.
And I always find, Jay, with some of the underdog teams at these kind of events on LAN, you always start to get maybe some stars you didn't recognize of, right? We saw it in the Onyx game, just how much impact Impulse was able to find. Now we're starting to see some real good performances from Bloggers. 16 kills and 11 deaths in that first half. None of his teammates have even got to double digits.
Not at all. Might be one of the top players in server right now. One of the key elements is the reason why they're in control. Whether that will last, whether that will convert as time goes on. The CT side are trying to decide it all here. Jordy's out for Savannah as he's currently playing the anti-raid boss for the CT forces. Pistols and the Glucks out for all of AGO, sparing nothing of the utility inbound from Feek, who's already put down smoke already. Got quite a fair amount of utility spread across these players. Sat back and waiting. Molotovs come in, Savannah will get forced off top of the heart. Julie's inbound, sees where Lemon is. Bloggers gets his kill, Savannah can't chime in and everything. Look back towards the entrances. Bloggers will catch Fiku, MHL falls, and they're all falling like flies. 1v5 for Furlan. Caught off by Bloggers. Overwhelming defensive there from eSuba.
That's an eye-opener again. Another big round coming out from Bloggers. He's up to 19. And it seemed like the util was on point. The molly that goes down on the top of heart, the flash that came out. So many of those CT players were blind. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the T's are just getting absolutely pummeled.
Are you convinced yet, Dwight?
Not yet. No, like I said.
We have to wait till the 16th round before he finally gets convinced.
No, again, though, you've got to remember, eSuba, 78th in the world, don't often get to play teams at this kind of a caliber.
Well, in spite of that, they're doing well in the early game. Smokes onto the cross. Fiku looking in with the P215, looking out of the squeaky door. T's walk up and Luko the first on to position alongside Petchin the same. No damage being done though. The T's have either already crossed or they're crossing right now, and they'll join up, form up together as a cohesive unit. Only one lurker back at lobby. Try to put these pistols and this MAC-10 to effect. It's a force buy round, of course.
Yeah, a lot of SMGs. And that M4A1S is just going to start off, individual fights being won. I like the Bloggers just getting out of there. Rather than getting hungry, just play the time, play the man advantage.
Smoke towards Decon, MHL forced to fire ahead of it. Bloggers will just rotate back to the back of the side, making a fair amount of noise to get there. Teammate a twist now cover off the entrance from double doors and over at the bomb's window. Fiku, P250 thinking. Dropping down, will get caught off for it. That's the opening frag for eSuba once again. Meanwhile, AGO will try press into the bomb site itself. The utility down, the smoke's on. The incendiary will try driving them away from position. Twist will be able to fight alongside Luko. SMGs combined. Player goes down. Engagements. M4 comes up Lemon with only one frag to his name. No more than that. Shut down from the CT forces. It's eco time for AGO. And the pistol conversion basis may set eSuba up again.
Yeah, it's been very streak-based from both of these teams, and knowing that eSuba have now been able to convert 3 rounds at the end, 13, 14, 15 in that first half, and then 16 and 17 into the second. They've now got 5 on the trot. Knowing that that was a force buy, we'll have a light eco in for AGO, and eSuba have got a perfect opportunity to start farming even more money for Twist, Luko, and Savannah.
Yeah, this is starting to get a bit out of hand here for AGO. eSuba, I'll get the pistols to conversions, of course, so we'll look towards those gun rounds and where AGO could really step up to the table. And they can work it from there. For now, should be easy pickings for the CT camp. We've got the M4s wrapping towards outside. Already spotted the first. Krasnov will fall. Look up towards the top of Mini, and then it will fall. And MHL will fall the same. Perfect 3K. Pistols with no Kevlar, however. Very simple stuff. And again, should lead towards that 11th round for the eSuba side. So I see if they can punish Bloggers for getting a bit too overly aggressive, which is definitely possible, but he's going in for the ace. He may well just get it, and exactly that's what he does. First ace of the tournament goes the way of Bloggers on eSuba.
Jeez, he is just mounting up these kills. He's getting 3 away from 30. It's ridiculous of how many multi-frag rounds he's had. And for eSuba, it's an anti-eco ace. It's still something to be somewhat happy about.
11-7. AK's out for AGO. Again, this is their big focus. This is where they can build their T side up from. Bloggers ace one more time, just for the funsies of it. And the AK's out and everybody here for the AGO side. They're going to need to focus fire very heavily into how they're going to play this out. And yeah, the execution itself pretty much down to a T. Outside control for Krasnov walking ahead of the diagonal smokes. Bloggers will see nothing ahead of the curve. They're going towards Secret again.
Walking down, thinking with a good opening, even makes it a second, can't quite find any more than that. The damage has already been done, and now they can just start driving lower. No one's there to defend for eSuba.
Yeah, this might just be a safe call, honestly. They're so far away from the site, they could get suppressed away. The SMG will take fight for Twist. It does get driven back. Bloggers will come in from the secret entrance. We've got a player over in vents that will watch out for him, and also second player coming in from the stairs over at the double doors entrance. That's Krasnov that will press the issue, but they will start falling back. Try to look for some of those drop weapons, especially in the case of Twist, who has the SMG, and AK can get picked up on Fiku's dead body. So there we are, an 8th to the board of AGO. Negative frags also get secured, so they're more bonus AKs. And in general, like a bit of a bonus round. They still have SMGs being brought into this one, so it's not terrible for the eSuba side.
No, not at all. I don't want to say they'd be happy about it, but in hindsight, it's actually a decent recovery from what they're taking away. And for AGO, this just speaks volumes of how important lurking is in from that lobby position, especially when you're trying to get players down to that lower bomb site in from Secret to try and hit B, that you've got your one man, your main man, Fiku, who pretty much does all the hard work for you. He's able to pull distractions, he's able to hold the CTs at bay, crunch them into lobby, get a couple of kills, so then eventually when they hit lower, the ramp rotates are just so slow.
The point out, by the way, Bloggis is in 28 frags, and I was a bit confused at first because I thought it was 280 frags. So
it might be.
It might as well be, honestly. Like, just the amount of impact he himself is having alone. Yeah, there was the anti-eco A, so technically 23, but, you know, semantics.
No.
Semantics. It's still one of those things where it's like, hey, he's doing great on his lonesome, and the fact that AJ was struggling to deal with this might be a big concern. He's just hit his 29th, looking for a 30 bomb. MHL will find that trade. So big boy's taken out of play. It's a 4-on-4.
It's a one and done position, and right there he had the chance of multi-fragging, wasn't able to connect, gets punished straight away. You can't back down from that position, so you just got to try and keep fighting. And for AGO, very similar stance to what we saw in the last round, looking to walk down to that lower bomb side. Now the in-game leader, Aluko, is just jump spotting for information.
Should see the utility at the very least. Won't catch vision on them just yet. He's got that smoke to suppress them as soon as he sees contact. Krasnal spotted. He opens up decon door and just gets away. Once that smoke on towards double doors, and gets physical space between him and his opponents. 60 seconds left. AGO have their hearts set on the B play.
eSuba have got 2 at lower and a third player from Petchin that can rotate in from ramp. This is a very good position for them to be in.
Ready for the swing. Molotov's in, takes fight, takes flight, sprays through on Furlan at 31 points of health. Krasnal's going to be the man to enter out though. Twist now back at Dark. Bomb plant, I believe, is safe, so we can't get any sort of denial. Savannah comes in instead against Fiku. 3-on-3. eSuba still hold this lurk player, and if they can draw attention away, Krasnal's not checking Dark at all. They think they might be safe out there. Now Twist is an own entity. Made to the back lines. The engagement from Krasnal gets down one player. Twist comes up. He gets himself a double with the Molotov and AK combined, and now Krasnal trades places with the CT side. As soon as they recognize where that bomb is, then he could just stick the whole thing, but it's a triple in for the man. Look out for the quadra. No, Twist holds his line pretty nicely. Patient players and all, and he gets the 12th round for eSuba.
That is a massive clutch coming through from Twist. The way that he transfers up from that dark position from both the default and that squeak door area. Well played indeed, and the clutch comes through to allow that 12th round up for eSuba. And for AGO, this is now where it starts getting touch and go. You're down by 4. It's only 4 more for eSuba to win. And even looking at the rifle round that we've got ahead of us, yes, they've got that AWP out for MHL. We're still seeing Furlan and Lemon lack with the nades. Hello again.
That is such a creepy angle. AK's in. AWP out for Bloggis on the CT side. AWP out for MHL over on the T half. 4 rounds still between these two teams. eSuba hold their line pretty nicely again. Smokes towards outside. Did miss out. Leave one man on top of the mini position. Bloggis exploit that gap, find Krasnal, get his 30 bomb in 21 rounds, and again start things off with eSuba.
Yeah, insane opening pick. Again, just working with the edge of the smoke, that lurk outside being dealt with, and for eSuba, they just start putting some more resmoking nades down to both that squeaky and hut position, just make sure it's going to be a difficult denial if there's an upper execution in play, even towards this outside play. What are AGO working with? They've got one flash, that's it, Jay.
Mitchell looks up and over. Just trying to spot, see anything at all. Looks will get thrown off to his teammates to utilize on the ramp default. Lemon takes face and takes his win, but Bloggis gets the kill back on Fiku through the locker rooms. Left down 4-on-3. 30 seconds for AGO's hit.
Yeah, Lemon's got himself in a pretty decent position. MHL too, they don't know about the player up close.
He lines up to everyone of them, can make it a triple! A twist of fate, if you will, at 13-8. eSuba, what a lockdown.
Yeah, I'm starting to believe now, Jay. Honestly, this is looking fantastic for eSuba. Now they're in a position where they disallow the bomb plant. I mean, the bomb didn't even really get close to the site there, but if there was a bomb plant, we could have seen another buy round. Right here, we can't at all. It's going to have to be an eco. What a spray transfer in from Twist. And it's not just the Blogger show. We are seeing other individuals really get involved, and you can just see it there. The AGO boys, I bet they're hearing that as well.
Yeah, to a certain extent, obviously. Got the noise cancelling
Hey,
headphones and everything.
if they're loud, like if they're getting hot, I mean that coach, Benky's getting into it.
I mean, yeah, credit to him because they've got every reason to be hype about that. Come back to that in a moment because it's the half-by execution coming in. Tech9's out of the gate. VQ will find Savannah. Pechin's going to get forced off angle. Twist there with support. Krasnal can still find Pechin, and Bloggers up ahead needs to get some shots back in. Twist comes out for the back lines. Furlan can shut him down and move him from play. They have the bombs information, but it's a 3-on-2, and Krasnal has walked into the ace site, cleared out the back lines. And it looks like AGO are not done fighting just yet.
This does not look good for eSuba. It's now a lot of time for AGO to work with. They can have some rat plays. If Bloggers can drop this bomb, then that could be a way into the round.
Walk out. AK's leaning in. Head of the mini position. I think Viku is spotted. They'll concede the bomb plant. Again, you have to consider the economy state here for the CT side. Viku gets caught off by Luko. That's the way in. 2-on-2. Krasnal held back. Furlan's gun barrel spotted. Bloggers going to isolate him, take him down. Krasnal there with a trade. Makes it a 2K. Comes up massive for his team when they need him most. A triple out for the man. And it's 9 to the board of AGO.
Yeah, that's a good clutch that now goes the way of AGO. And for eSuba, you have a look at the money state. They don't mind going for that 2v2. You might as well give yourself a crack at it. And right there for Krasnal, low HP, being able to get both Hut and from that main position. Doing well. Tactical pause. AGO realizing that was a bit of a steal because that was only an eco for him.
Question is, was it attack pause for AGO or eSuba? I can imagine it was eSuba off the back of that because that was a very quick turnaround for Krasnal, something that they couldn't have seen coming. 13-9. Once again, 4 rounds to separate the two squads. 4 rifles out for both teams as well, so no expense spared here in round 23. Both economies extremely low as well, so this could be a bit of a swing round.
Yeah, it definitely could be. It's one of those where I look at it from eSuba, and I think if they win round 23 and don't allow a bomb plant, it actually could be the game winner.
There is set. Nades on, damage done towards Lemon. Or just watching, expecting someone to make their way forward, but no one's going to lean towards outside. Not without util support, at least not yet.
Yeah, could have been a timing there for the silo player, even just a jiggle peek to gather that early information. Krasnal towards outside on a lurk, doesn't have teammates with support. It seems as if they are going to go for the wall of smokes towards outside, the stand across. AGO just going to leave it as a bit of a fake, just leave that one individual of Krasnal, the rest aren't interested.
Smokes down. Teams start walking. Krasnal in particular just going to lean his way forward in towards that secret position. Pechin walks ahead of Squeaky, takes fight. Doesn't do much with it though. Molotov towards Claude Vincent. Crossfire set here, sees one player coming out of the hut position. The player at mini gets mollied away. Pechin, his shoulder's been seen, so Savannah can capitalize, get that kill in.
Oh, that's an easy pick, and even for Krasnal, he's given up the information of that outside lurk. They might be able to try and drop that Vincent towards a lower take.
35 seconds. Start walking out. Savannah starting to press forward. Pechin still unknown here. Further flashes in. They still think there's a player at close vendor. Finally, Krasnal comes in with that flank as Pechin drops MHL. Savannah in the corner. Overwhelmed by Lemon to a 3-on-3. AWP up here towards Heaven. Bloggers has seen one individual. Can't deny the plant from his position out here. He's got to swing out so far wide and could be traded so easily. Twister started walking up towards the hut position though. It's Fiku in the midst of set. Smoke will spot him and spray him down. The 2 remaining here, both out of Heaven. Flashbangs will keep them suppressed. The AK will take its face. Don't spot them at all, and they're out of there. They're saving the weapons.
Yeah, they're not interested. They know economy's going to be absolutely wrecked if they go for that and they don't win the round outright. So just hold on to the weapons you've got. Allow AGO to get up to 10. And you could just see how much pressure was being applied onto that main player of Twist. Yeah, he's able to come away with a couple of kills. Savannah too, one of the anchors on the site, probably needed at least one if they really wanted to go for it. AGO just trying to grind these rounds out, and you'd have to imagine with this kind of a buy, we couldn't see a force here for eSuba. Yeah, you are holding on to an M4 and an AWP, but it might not be worth it. Just hard eco.
I think you're right, honestly. Just trying to figure out some sort of way that you can buy around this, but like the best you're getting is maybe an SMG, mostly pistols. Seeing Twist buy down with a 5.7 a little bit, but nothing major really. It's dualies and upgrades and all that regular sort from eSuba. Hard eco, like you mentioned. Lemon comes up with a kill against Luko, immediately drops one of those rifles, and I mean, that probably secures the round itself just off the back of that.
Yeah, it's a shame. You put the M4 in a position of aggression. You want to hope to get an opening man advantage. You want to try and see if you can get as much out of the weapon as possible, and what happens? They lose it straight away.
Bit unlucky there with the timings and the spawns and everything, but you know, what can you do at this stage, eSuba? Just frag down. Kind of expected that you'd lose this round again. They probably didn't put that much pressure on themselves to do much in this context. Towards the outside of the main cross smokes. The bomb could commit to wherever it wants to at this stage. Molotovs have them away from the red box itself. No one's playing towards this outside position, though. They're just behind the smoke, so they're all the way back in the A site. No one's even at the B corridors or in the B site itself, so they can walk straight towards Secret, walk into B, probably get a plant for it. They'll walk out towards Squeaky instead, and Savannah will sneak a kill in. Not quite ready for Furlan. Petchin comes up with a decent trade, and Blogger still turns that orb in with decent success. Unable to land that second kill, though. Lemon there with the trade. Twist comes up, also respectable in terms of the damage, but no kill against Lemon. 4K for him instead, and 11 to the board.
Yeah, that round's got touch and go for a little bit there. Money situation still isn't fantastic for the eSuba side. They will be able to get a buy together. It just won't have all the pretty extras. And tactical pause. That's their last one, Jay. They've used a lot of tacticals. I respect that.
Yes. Moment to take a pause on that respect. And eSuba, just knowing that they have gained a pretty decent position in general. Again, 13-11 up against AGO. And this is still the CT side to play out. So they've got plenty of breathing room when it comes to this. I'm still getting a bit concerned about those numbers in general from the eSuba side, though, because again, Bloggers is the only guy that's really fragging. He's up to 33 kills now. He's not found a massive, like, multi-frag round in a fair while now. Yeah,
that is true. At the same time, though, you have to remember with a lot of those kills, it's players setting them up. So you do get some teams that you will get stats lines for certain individuals a lot higher than everybody else, but support would be necessary if they do want to try and carry it over. Going back into round 25, we can see the early util towards our outside position, and this is a little bit quicker from AGO.
Big gap in that smoke. Bloggers is so ready to shut them down. Is there a counter smoke? No, they're not even going to play towards that secret position, but they're going to rocket run to Luko anyway. Pushing out from the garage position, finds the frag onto Krasnal. Feek, who's been tagged up early by Nade. Luko taking a bit of a face out, and Lemon will get this kill together. So 4 versus 4. And Bloggers responds, gets his 34th kill of the game, MHL the drop.
Yeah, that was slightly unnecessary for Luko. He could have just stayed there and played the man advantage. I guess he wants to try and get out of there and put himself in a good position. At least the AWP is able to start moving away from Heaven closer towards outside to find some impact. AGO could just be a walk into upper.
Yeah, I'll be happy that Bloggers is able to maintain the advantage after he went down. Petchin. Now wait, Fiku and Lemon walking up the position. Bloggers still waiting for content. Face him at this crack angle. Face forward, Petchin will get the kill. Fiku and Furlan turn it right back to a 2 versus 2. They're such low HP though. Nades incendiaries could be enough for the CT to try and deny this bomb plant. They won't be able to get any in place though. Haven't got much left in the tank. Twist is still on the flank with the SMG, which is still good here with the HP advantage, but Fiku still domes him in. And Bloggis being flanked out by Furlan, unknown to the T side. Waiting for him to face forward, the shot it out. The AK comes up with its spray. Furlan takes no risks with knives or anything. Just get the shot off, get the 12th round. AGO 1 away from tying this up.
I really don't know how Fiku won that fight. When you think about just how low he is with the SMG in that kind of a range, in any other circumstance, I think that's a 9 out of 10. You win that fight with the CT side, and unfortunately, it just doesn't go the way of eSuba. AGO starting to bring one back, and that backstab play from Furlan was well-timed too. A lot of distraction being pulled. Narrow sort of timing into the site with the AWP looking in. AGO, 4 rounds in a row. They're starting to find some form very late into this map.
Oh, blind spray from Fiku. Tagged Bloggers for 12. Almost caught Savannah as well. It's Furlan with a kill onto Petchin. Takes him down and starts things off with Bloggers being so low as well. You can imagine this round's just going to fall apart from here. Probably already won by AGO. See if there can be any sort of deagle responsives back from the CT side. They have got hand cannons in every single individual's hands, so there's potential. But Savannah the drop next up. They're going to make a tag onto Fiku. Fiku gets the headshot with the AK. And they walk out towards the ramp entrance. They've got Twist up on the boost. Logos will work towards outside. But Twist is going to wait. Eyes turned away from Furlan. Oh my goodness, that's a fantastic sequence, but it's whiffed at the very last player. MHL maintains the advantage.
Jeez, there's still 2 cracking deagle shots, and even Bloggers has been able to get into the backlines. Is anyone watching this?
No, Krasnell's not. He's going to wait. Knife. He's found them all. He's whiffed it. Oh, Nico! Nico's watching and standing proud. Luco standing back at the back lines. Standing away, hoping for MHL to take face. The Tech 9's pulled out. He gets that 1 kill, but Krasnell's already close. Gets it to a 13 apiece. Bit risky there at times. And you did have some moments where things would have started to go awry, but eSuba a bit miffed at that one, I think.
Can't believe you just like threw Nico into that one. What's going on? Is that the new call out? Anytime we just see some whiffed eagle shots? Honestly, for an eco though, you've got to be relatively happy. Yeah, that trigger discipline, it's a shame, and they'll be frustrated at that one. Again though, would they really have won that round? Possibly not. That couple of kills could have maybe pulled a tide. They're still in it. It's not as if it's a game breaker.
Could have been a game maker though. Bloggers up set against Krasnell, caught him dead to rights. Much better start here for the CT forces. They can still try and gain back the lead from this tie position. MHL try work his own AWP around position. Blind fire from Twist. Incendiary set. Furlan behind said Molotov will see nothing, catch nothing, gain nothing. Bloggis gains a second kill though.
5 on 3, great position, and even Twist is finding impact out from Rab, and he's able to fall back. They need an absolute miracle AGO to bring this round back. 2v5, getting into that lower bomb site. Rotations are already here with mass numbers.
Yeah, and Twist is standing by and waiting here at the old toxic position, looking for the AWPer. Furlan's going to start walking up rafters. The window's already opened up. I think Twist knows, or he's aware of something, or is suspecting something. MHL will finally find his angle, take the player down. Double doors open, bomb plant should be secured. Furlan's going to be left isolated in the corner now. It's all left to MHL to clutch the ace here. 1 on 4. Warp turned away from, lands onto Petchin at least, but takes a dink back for his trouble. 9 points of HP. Going to provide some covering fire, put some utility down. Cover off both entryways. Flick not quite as great against Luco. USP pulled out. Eventually gets that frag together. And eSuba will find 14. And they are still holding the lead, at least for the time being. Bomb plant bonus should enable the buy to come forward here for the AGO side, though. And I think at this stage, they're going to have to force the issue.
Bloggers has probably hit the LAN record for most kills in regulation in a V4 event.
Yeah, okay, in a V4 event, probably.
He's probably going for it, though.
Not of all time. I think that all-time record for a single player in regulation. I don't know if it was Yuri. I think it might be someone else, but I think the number was... Yuri had 42. Yeah. I think he missed the record by 1 frag.
Oh, he didn't get the record then.
Yeah, I think it was 43 is the official record. You have to ask Bok on that front. I can't remember it off the top of my head. But tactical pause. Taken, I must be by AGO at this stage. Like, I think eSuba have exhausted all theirs, and they're the ones that are pushed back on the back foot.
Yeah, and they put themselves in a position where you've got your AWP out for MHL, you've got an AK on Fiku and for Furlan, you're also stuck with a MAC-10 and that Khalil, and you've got 1 molly and 3 smokes. And knowing how much utility you need for some of the outside plays on this map on T-side, which AGO have been going for, it's going to make this round difficult.
Boost up again for that AWP. Bloggers trying this angle for the second time. Nade on, he wins the fight against the AWPer. All important pick back, and no one towards outside the trade, and so Bloggers is going to get away for free here. 5 on 4. eSuba knocking on the door of match point. Savannah up in the rafters will try and dive down ahead of positions. And here they come, pressing the issue. Lemon gets the kill back on Bloggers. A 4 versus 4 scenario. M4 still watching down from the rafters themselves. Smokes up. The T start walking out. Here they come. AUG blind. Gets the spray together against Krasnell. Can't find Fiku next up. They're going to pop ahead of that smoker. This is what you think. They go back for the vent dive. Petchin still catches one on the way out. So, 2-man advantage. eSuba with everything to work with. As Furlan falls, the bomb gets dropped and Fiku has to clutch it on 38 points of health.
And they've even got a couple of players in from Hart. Just slow it down. Don't isolate any 1v1s. Don't give him any sort of aggression. Just give him the respect to play the 1v3.
And work out from the lobby entrance, head of the hot angle. The bomb's out on the B side though, so he's got to play there. He's got to try find some sort of way downstairs. There's probably a bit of timing that he can make happen here against the vent dive. I think it's being covered off by the AUG though. It certainly is now. Engagement taken. Luko wins it 15-13. Match point for eSuba. We are a round away from seeing our first 2 games both be upsets here in the V4 Future Sports Festival. A bit of a surprise. Bit of a surprise to me here.
Yeah, I agree with you completely there, Jay. Just think that both favourites in Group A could be going down here to face in the lower bracket BO3. AGO not even getting a bomb plan in that last round means that the buy is just not here at all. The Suba, this is the best chance to close right here, right now.
I do kind of want to see AGO win this round though, just so we can get Bloggers up to the LAN record, so that's all I want to see. Here's Orp down diving into the vents, getting out to the secret entrance to try contest outside. They've got one player out there. It's Krasnal that stands alone, trying to set the split in towards the A site, ahead of the diagonal smokes. He'll make some noise indicating he's trying to go out towards Secret, or at least be that lurker as the execution comes in. Quetchin with the kill. Fiku with a responsive. The Eagle spots Luko, and they do overwhelm with the crossfire. Haven't checked rafters, but Savannah again wished the shots. So it's a 4-on-2. Make it 1, make it none. 14 of the board. AGO are still alive.
Why'd you have to say anything, Jay? Honestly.
I jinxed it, I'm sorry.
You really did. No, that one right there from AGO, you could just see the way they're putting pressure on that mini player. Where do you look? Do you look in towards Hut? Do you look into the squeak door entrance or the outside players? There is just so much going on. It was a nice little fake on the sound cue. They had the diagonal smokes towards outside. It seemed like they were trying to fake they were going secret, and instead it's just a complete pool of information. They're actually going in towards that upper take.
Just compare those numbers again. Real incredible stuff for him in this map. Probably, definitely MVP pick actually. Fast rush in from AGO, they're heavily tagged at the spray. They're trying to end this one quick. 2-for-1 responsive. Blind fire from Luko comes up against Lemon, so it'll be a 3 versus 3. But Bloggis gets naded out of heaven. That bomb gets crossed to the site. At least it attempts to do so. Furlan will finally get the plant in. It's 3v3 for the retake, and eSuba have got to go for this.
Quite a lot of nades for the T's to work with just to slow this down. They've got another molly and a smoke between Furlan and MHL to work with. Another re-smoke going down towards that main position.
Nades up. No damage done. The CTs are evading it. Going about to set the smokes in to try and go for the retake. All 3 coming in from heaven. Twist to be the first man out. Molotov's in. Counteracted by that smoke. Nice nade. Heavy damage. Bloggis will fall. They can line up for it, but Twist gets Furlan to drop. AWP of MHL chimes back. And now it's all Luko. Bombs in the open. Kit picked up, but I don't think he's got time for this. It's way too far ticked away. MHL seen. The spray can't come up. And AGO will take us to overtime. 15 apiece, and I definitely shouldn't have jinxed it, Blake, because we are going the distance.
Yeah, AGO really pulling through when it matters the most. Round 29 and round 30 going their way. And you could just see the way that they put so many nades up to that heaven position means that retake's just going to slow down. And even for MHL, finding some really important connection shots out from that squeak door position.
Take a look at those numbers very quickly. You can see the kill spread is a little bit closer on the part of the AGO side. Furlan down at 9 kills, though. That's a bit of an outlier result. What's going on there?
Yeah, he's the in-game leader, but still probably not the best performances from him, knowing that he's played nearly 400 maps online, the most experienced player for this AGO side. At least you can give him the respect of being able to call his way out of trouble from 13-15 down.
Oh, here we go. Overtime set in for both sides. MR3 16k, I believe, is the real set we have. Nade set in, Twist. First contact to the eSuba side. Will start leaning forward and try and catch these players off ahead of the smokes. They won't push ahead of that position, though. They want to go more further out towards the squeaky door and inside that lobby default. Passive stuff coming in now from AGO.
Going in for another one of these top site plays, and this is now some of the variation that we can see with some of the dropped utilities, just having mass nades for one player just to keep throwing it over the top, force pitching out of angles, and now he's in a real off position to try and defend the upper bomb site.
Nades set in, doing damage, just chunking away at the HP numbers of the AGO side. Waiting for the execution. Come in. Smokes towards outside, though, means they want to play a bit more of a default so far. It's just the first wave of smokes, though. No commitment towards the outside control.
And because there's no secret player, eSuba don't really have this information. Yeah, there's actually not that cross smoke, so Bloggis is seeing everything. There's no smoke, so he sees that the outside is a complete fake.
Waits with Savannah up top of Hut. AUG are pitching on the site itself. Molotov's in, M4 watching, will get driven away at long last. Flashes forward, great spray together, gets himself one. Luca with a second, MHL knows that he's out there, and the no-scope shot lands a leg, not a kill. Bloggers can follow up against Krasnal, and it'll be Furlan in the 1 versus 4. Bomb dropped, 16 seconds, no clutch.
And that would have been the information comms straight away. Stay ready for the upper execution because we're not seeing anything outside. Bloggers even turning around to this heaven position. Could find that frag onto Furlan to end the round. 39 kills. Looking to find even more. eSuba, just when they get into OT, that one round they needed in round 29 and round 30, it didn't come. It's come here in OT.
Surprising again against the pistols and everything, so... Guns out. eSuba win the gun v gun rounds, and they have the first of OT. Plenty more potential. 2 AKs recovered as well for the next CT round. So lots of firepower and everything right now for the CT forces.
And for AGO, I wonder if they can try and beat them with a bit of pace. When we think about eSuba's T side, it was a little bit more frantic, more aggression. We haven't really seen that a lot from the poles. And Blogs outside, so aggressive.
Oh, he spotted MHL, but just couldn't connect that shot. It's Luco to get 2 instead. Krasnal and Lemon to drop. MHL hoping for a bit more, and Bloggers still trying to challenge onto that individual. They will engage against Savannah, meanwhile, from the other T side players. MHL seeing nothing ahead of the smokes. It's probably a bit more of a ramp play from the T-side line. You can see Fiku and Furlan trying to engage against Twist here. He's repositioned himself, trying to give away as little information as possible. Catch off Fiku, try and dive down and get back to the B site.
So while they had the AWP very aggressive from Bloggers, they had Luco just about that credit card position, just looking up from Silo, and a couple of T-side players drop down after that initial contact comes in. Finally, a trade comes back to get it into a 3v4, but they need more off of this.
MHL's hoping a second player gives up his angle. He won't do so, though. Flash forward, flash back. Bloggers walk forward as Fiku does catch Savannah next up. So 3-on-3 situation. Now Petchin might be in trouble, being sprayed ahead of this position. Flashbang does not work out to try to drive them away. It's a counteraction from the CT forces, and still Petchin can't escape. Bloggers might have to do this all on his lonesome. He's pressed into a corner, dinked up as well. 29 HP, MHL starts walking forward. Twist trying to find the bailout position, but Fiku mows him down. Petchin's also fallen. Bloggis now with 27 seconds to hold off against the A execution. Fiku will get spotted first. Domed out. Bombs dropped, so they've got to engage. Jump faces the AWP. Fires. The flick lands a tag. Not a kill, though. Bloggis knows that MHL's facing him directly, and he'll land his 2K. Get the 17th for eSuba.
Oh, another massive round coming out from Bloggers, and he has really been on form when it comes to some of those 1vx situations. That one right there, being able to pull the distraction. MHL thinks he's got a better chance with the M4A1S, and now 2 rounds in a row, eSuba up to 17.
Now 1 away from match point again. AGO struggling in this overtime. At least they don't have to worry about the economy state. Guns out for the 3rd round of this half. eSuba just in full control right now. They are looking like a fantastic force at the moment.
Now, Bloggers going for the exact same play he did in the last round. Now, it didn't quite work with the opening pick. He got the information. He's going to try it again.
Ready for face. He gets the kill this time as well. Twist follows suit on Furlan, so 5-on-3 gained. The aggressive plays from AGO, letting them fall apart. Fiku has found Bloggers, and Petchin actually falls back in turn, so 3v3 refound by AGO. And grab that bomb, and they have an angle to work with now. The secret control being established by Fiku. Luco. Animals outside. Will he catch the man with his back turn? Yes, he will. Advantage refound.
Now, gotta be careful he doesn't fall here. He needs to try and follow up, and it just doesn't happen. At least he sees both of those outside players. Now, Twist is down at lower. He's got to come up from the vents to try and help out Savannah.
4 taps facing ahead. Missed that smoke, blinded off. MHL trying to dive down through the vents. Get out of dodge. 50 seconds. Lemon. Watching away from position. Savannah. Can't see him twisting the rafters. Got everything to do on his lonesome. 2 players to catch him. He's watching out the left-hand doorway. They start to walk up. Open the doors. Open the windows. So there's Molotovs back. Twist should know where they're coming from. Double doors open. Adjust. But MHL still finds the frag. It's all Savannah.
Now, comes out of the arms to try and get the clutch together. Not going to happen at all. Lemon reading the rotation. And even in that position, he's trying to unexpose himself from the angle out from the windows, from radio rooms. Still doesn't quite come through from the connection. And for AGO, that would have felt like a long time coming to lose 2 rounds in a row in OT to finally get there first.
Yeah, 100%. Like, that was a very big struggle, I think, in that overtime. They have that 1 T-side round, though, so there's potential they can swing back 3 more. Just get this CT half under wraps and try and shut down eSuba from this position. CT halves that were better. See the half switch, see where eSuba are going to go about this one. What can they do to gain control and finally gain this map above AGO?
So far, a performance of an absolute lifetime coming through from Bloggers, but the job isn't done yet. They've still got to be able to convert a few more rounds to get them over the line. And got to think as well what he's going to be like with the AK, because he's not even getting an AWP over on this T side.
Stray automatics across the board. Incendiary's down, AWP watching. MHL sees nothing coming out of Squeaky. A bit of damage being taken, but mostly just forcing him slightly further back. Flashes, smokes, utility coming in for what seems to be the execution. Savannah, first player out, sees where Lemon is. He's caught up by Bloggers' flashbang. Check the back lanes. He'll spot Fern on the edge of the smoke. Petchin comes up good against Fiku. It's clinical, it's quick, it's effective. It's a 4v2.
Jeez, the util's just everywhere. So many flashes. No one can see anything. Krasnal getting spammed down. And MHL in the 1v4. Trying to see if he gets something out from main. Does drop that bomb for a moment, but they know exactly where he is.
Blind sprays and know they can just bear down upon him and ensure he can't make his way out of this angle. Somehow I've got to get the bomb plant relatively soon. They've got a minute to the clock though. Nades up, just damage being taken away from the T-side line, but no casualties for this AWPer. 2 HP to clutch this, and Nade will finish off the job. It's match point again for eSuba, and 2 ahead of AGO, who need what feels to be a miracle at this stage. eSuba are back in control.
Absolute excellent upper take there coming through from the T side. So much pinpoint precision when it comes to the utility. And those anchor players, they're even trying to play anti-flash, and they're still getting hit by the flashes. They can't see anything.
And now some of the other players starting to really step up to the table here for the eSuba side. Still not anywhere near where Bloggers is at, but they are having their impact. Outside they'll go on the defaults. Incendiary's up. Fiku will be the next player to aggress towards outside. Very, very far forward. I wonder if Luco or Savannah will check this. Looking towards outside, and they will, but he'll still get a kill for it. Drops off, takes his second fight. Savannah can win the trade, but on 5 points of HP, he's so susceptible to death.
And even a gap in those outside smokes means they're going to have to slow it down, re-smoke again. It seems as if they just want to cancel, start falling back. Petchin's kind of stuck here at T-Red.
No way in, no way out. Savannah's the big concern for me at the moment, and he's going to take face. That shot from MHL missed out against the man. Flashes forward, counter flash into the T-side line. Molotov's up, will force him away from credit cards, but he can't continue taking face, and finally Savannah gives up his life.
At least that bomb falls back in a safe position. Twist has been able to walk out from Squeak Door, get in from vent. They might not expect this.
Fun has a suspicion. He's blind firing, trying to go for those wall bangs. His distraction might enable Bloggers to come forward. MHL will deal with Twist, and now the M4's turned away from Bloggers' angle. 2v2, picks up his next kill. MHL forced away as Petchin will dive down to the B site. Smart call.
That's a good read of information, knowing how the CTs are playing and where MHL is. Just get that bomb down to lower. Bloggers is pretty much allowing nothing to come through the vent. And there it is, 45 kills in from Bloggers. A performance of a lifetime.
And a performance that will get eSuba the second upset of the day, our second upset in the tournament. AGO will mean Sinners in the upper bracket, and eSuba get their shot of revenge. They're taking on Onyx in the best of threes tomorrow, and again, that was the team that eliminated them from the online cup. So big things for this side, and you can see it on their faces. They're so happy about that.
Yeah, that is a huge win. And to think that we've gotten 2 BO1s back to back that have just been upsets, no one could have ever seen this coming in that sort of fashion too.
I mean, it is kind of best of one, so you can see some way in which upset potential could be had. Obviously, Kasar was mentioning on the desk earlier how things can be a little bit weird with best of ones, especially when you have some major underdog teams. And in this context, both the underdogs have gone massive, Dwayne. So what else can we expect going forward?
Yeah, I don't know. Really, it's all up in the air. You'd have to imagine that both of the favourites are in an awful position now, because at least one of them are going to be going home because they're facing each other in the lower bracket.
What a day it would be. Sinners or AGO the drop out in the first round of the group stage, but we'll have to get to that a little bit later on today. For now, though, I'm sure the desk has plenty to talk about. It's back-to-backs.
Thank you very much, guys. What a ridiculous game on many levels when it comes to that. Upsets is how we are kicking off V4 here. And honestly, for eSuba, Bloggers, Drowl, I'm going to give you some credit there. I said, who do we need to look out for this team? I didn't think there was anyone that was going to excite me. Well, he certainly made it exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even claim this, right? Like, I anticipated him to do well, you know, get the AWP, get to shoot like really nice rounds, but this was like next level. So I think it was even like until the 23rd round or so, the AWP even came out. Like, this guy was a jack of all trades. He had aces, spray downs, clutches, you name it. He had everything.
I mean, we wanted somebody to pop off.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
He did. You called it, and he did. Doesn't matter if it's an AWP or a rifle. He just did everything for his team. Almost wasn't enough, but and, luckily there's some multi kills in the overtime that allowed them to get like a two rounds in the first half, and they closed it out after. Props to them. They proved me wrong. They proved everyone else wrong, and they're going to be facing Onyx in that rematch. I think both teams right now that won are kind of happy with who they got to play to get into the next stage. So it's going to be interesting tomorrow to see like who's going to go in.
And it wasn't the cleanest Counter-Strike though, let's be honest, right? No. There was a lot of scrappiness going down. They probably shouldn't even got to overtime in the first place overall. But I'm going to bring us all the way back. We look at how the pistol round went, right? Then we come into the third round overall and we see eSuba with a very limited buy after doing the force up, and they still managed to pull this off. They still managed to then take them down in this fashion. Like, this is where it shouldn't have gone wrong for Ego from the start.
Yeah, I mean, that round was just a first of many that can be played better in a way. Like you can see, like a lot of teams, even eSuba had problems later on when they open up around very well. They have a normal default, they get the opening, but the finisher is like completely bad. They're walking on the sides with the full utility instead of just throwing everything going in. And then on the other side you have AGO just allowing a lot of multi kills. Like they should not be happening if you want to have a good CT side. And then, like you said, a lot of scrappy rounds, a lot of bad, kind of bad CS. I guess it's justifiable. It's the first game of the tournament. It's a LAN after all this time, and it's kind of okay to happen. But they have no more chances anymore after this. Just the elimination game today actually, and it's gonna be. They have to step up there.
Yep. I think this nuke pick as well, not really a pick, right? It's the decider map which was left after the veto. But I think eSuba were a bit anticipating this pick because, first of all, this map is a bit of a coin flip for Ego. They don't really play it that much. Sometimes, when it gets to the veto, they'll play it, but usually it's not something they're that keen on going on. eSuba, on the other hand, they haven't played it almost at all. So I have a feeling that they actually prepared on this map. We saw those executes, like super well-oiled executes. They had the game plan going in. And once it got into the nitty-gritty, right, that's where it kind of broke apart from them. The mid-rounds, how we go on from here. Yeah. But up until then, it was very, very clear they had a very good plan going in on the T side. They knew kind of how Ego were going to play. They tried to anti-strat them in a way. And that's why I think they actually put in a lot of preparation in this map. And we might even see this come out again later on in the tournament.
They had a lot of control on the map, since the beginning, as I said, that eco round, they were 5 in a row, right? They had 8-7 half, which is really good for the T side. They won the pistol 13-8. What destabilized them was that eco loss, right? It was some sort of upper hit with the pistols, and they lost that, and it was a little bit of panic there, I guess, a little bit pressure. The Bloggies just went insane after that, but and luckily they won. I think they were in full control of the map from the very beginning,
Now I also want to look at a round that I know, Kassad, you're a big fan of. When it comes to round 25, it was the 5v3, Luco went unlucky with this one.
Yeah, that was a little bit unusual pick for me. You have the position here, right, and you get there's a 5v4, and they do know that you're there. There is no need for you to show yourself. There's a lot of utility that can be, thrown to you to help you. And I think he himself had something to throw as well. And after that, they lost that round. It was 13-12 and then 13-13. The round after, because they had no money. In a situation like that, a young player kind of eager to get kills, it's okay to make mistakes, right? It's not like that he's a super experienced, old player. It's fine to make mistakes like that, as long as he learns from that.
Exactly. I think this is where the inexperience on this level at least shines through a little bit, because players get a bit antsy, wanting to close out the game, to close out the round. And that is also why I'm pretty amazed that eSuba actually got this through, because they had the lead 2 times in this game, and then Ego closed up both times. And as a young team, it's very hard to deal with that type of pressure when, you have the lead and then you throw it away. Yeah. So the fact that they managed to close it out regardless is already speaking volumes of, their mental fortitude, maybe going into later in the tournament where you get the best of 3s.
Yeah, speaking of later in the tournament, I want to see Bloggies in the next game.
Yeah. Yes.
I want to see if this is one-off, a one-trick pony kind of thing, or he's going to have a sick performance throughout the whole event, because he has guaranteed himself 2 more best of 3s, right? Yeah. If they lose today, they're going to be playing the decider tomorrow. I want to see in the next 5 or 6 maps or 4. You know, what's he been able to do for the rest of the tournament? So far he's been like amazing. You know, a lot of rotations, a lot of mobility. You know, not too many risks. And AGO on the other hand gave them a lot of opportunities, but you know, he took them and he used them, and it's like he got like what, 45 at the end.
Yeah, 45 I believe. Yeah,
it's crazy. I want to see more. That's what I have to say.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? When he has the performance like that, he's on LAN as well, getting it done. He's getting hyped up. It's certainly not feeling the nerves of it. If he can perform that again, then maybe that's a player we look at.
Keep that in mind.
Okay.
Keep that in mind. It's a LAN game. It's a best of 1, so there's no online. You know, all that BS that people are saying. You know, it's a LAN game. First game of the tournament, he drops 45. You know, so there is potential there. So let's see what he can do in the next, games.
Well, let's see what they can do. We're going to be going to a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll be looking at our next games going into it. More best of 1s, and we're moving on to the next group.
Oni mieli bombę, badajmy na NC raz.